Welcome back to another episode of Searching for McGuffin with your host,
George.
Gabe.
And Link.
And we're going to guarantee for at least the first 30 minutes, we will be commercial free tonight.
Yes.
Someone will understand that reference someday.
Guys, it's my first time back this season.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Did you miss me?
How you been?
I've been good, a lot of new changes in my life.
Like what?
First of all, I'm sitting in the middle now, no longer that side. So this is weird. The dynamic
we're
is
moving
kind of
up our budget's up, so we can seat you in the center now.
That's right. The dynamic is weird. I don't know who to look at now.
That's true, actually. This is
It's gonna be interesting
fun
to get used to it. Yeah.
Just look at Tyrone.
Just look at Tyrone.
They don't know about Tyrone.
Tyrone is George's friend.
Most people listen to the show and
Is he in the room right now?
So they're not gonna know what we're talking about.
We're talking about that.
Oh,
that's right, because we're. I forget that
Link
word.
points to it.
Those of you watching online,
Please, can someone explain this before people on?
There is a ventriloquist dummy, a childhood ventriloquist dummy of my own on my lap.
Because that makes it so much better.
what did you name him?
He's Charlie. His name. He has a name. That's the ventriloquist dummy's name.
Where do we get Tyrone from?
You just made it up.
Made it up.
Just made it up.
Yeah.
But he's being referred to as Tyrone from now on.
He scares me. He terrifies
Who does
me
it?
at
Put
night.
one to the camera.
Put that thing to the camera. Look at that.
This is riveting for those that listen.
Dan, zoom it in if you can in post.
I don't. now you're just giving him tasks to do now.
Now we're gonna see
what
if
he
he listens
gets.
to the podcast.
That's what he gets.
That's what he gets when he remote produces. Anyways, I think we're gonna get right to the meat of the matter because Link hasn't been on this season, so he doesn't know that we're on a time crunch.
What?
It's a race against the clock in season 3.
Oh my goodness! Am I fast enough to race the clock?
We weren't last week, but we're gonna try again. So, this week's episode, we're gonna focus on going through some of the ideas in probably the biggest show that came out this year. Is that fair? I don't know. I can't even think about what else came out in 2023.
The biggest show that came out this year? I don't know. When does Obi-Wan come out? Was
Last
that this year or last year?
That was last year. And
When did
also
Mando come out?
Oh,
This
Mando
year.
came out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, really. You think this? I don't know.
Nah,
I feel
this show's
this show's bigger than Mando, I think.
Yeah, because it has all that built up.
Yeah, Marvel hasn't had a major
Continuity.
show. I don't think.
Cowabunga, dude. They had no, that was Star Wars.
Cowabunga?
Cowabunga.
Well, I don't know what that
There
means.
wasn't like a What If season 2 or something.
No, that
Yeah.
hasn't happened yet.
No,
No.
Marvel hasn't released a single show.
No, they have, but they weren't like big deals like She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
She-Hulk was this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was this year.
No, Ms. Marvel was last year.
What? All these things were last year?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm so
No, that was
confused.
this year, man. She-Hulk was this year.
She-Hulk was 22 August.
Really?
That's what I
Told
yeah.
you.
Okay, fair. Miss Marvel was after that, no?
Miss Marvel was also 22.
Oh yeah, so nothing good.
Has Marvel had a show?
So nothing big has come out.
I don't think so. Just the movies.
That's
I mean, recently Loki.
I feel like they always have one show going on
Loki came out.
on
Loki
Disney
now.
Plus. Loki came out, which actually has some similar themes to what we're going to talk about today, but
Mm,
it's too soon to talk about that.
too soon.
Yeah, there's only
Loki.
Yeah, it's
too
just
soon.
Loki and Echo this year.
when
Or did
our
they push
listeners,
that
and remember, many of them are listeners and viewers, get this episode, there'll be about 2 episodes of Loki out, but there's currently only one upon this recording, so we'll
I
talk
have to
about.
watch the first one again.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Oh, season 1?
Season 2
Oh, you mean the first episode?
of the new season.
Oh, you fell asleep in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was riveted.
I thought it was good. I couldn't. I had to sleep. I hadn't slept in like. It was like I traveled overnight.
Yeah.
Like I was at an airport and I didn't sleep, and then I had white coat surgery the next day.
Okay.
It was exhausting. Then I was.
Oh, that already happened? I thought that was in March.
Can you make up your mind?
What was in March?
Your white coat ceremony.
I'm not yes ending right now. I need to know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Because earlier, before we hit record, you said, like, oh, that hadn't happened yet. And Link understood that it hadn't happened yet, but it was in reference to a point in time in the past that you were pulling towards.
This sounds like a good
Segue.
do your thing.
All right. So just like that confusing conversation that you had about going back through time
In a
into
galaxy
the
far,
present.
far away.
Yeah, we've got The World Between Worlds, season 1, maybe
Yes,
of Ahsoka.
definitely.
There's got to be more, right?
Well,
For sure.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I don't know what the future of these characters is. Is it in another season of Ahsoka? Is it on Mando? Is it in a blockbuster movie? Not blockbuster video like the retail store, but
So how to say, you're really pulling at this time.
yeah, that's what. Well, actually, that happens in Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Like, falls into a blockbuster, which the Marvels is coming up soon, right?
Are we excited?
Do I need to watch that show before watching
It's a
this
movie. Watch
You-
what show?
He never saw Miss
Oh.
Marvel.
Yeah, you probably should, but
Yeah.
honestly, who cares?
But you said it was the best show on TV.
I mean,
Are we just lying like to everyone's face right now?
You know what?
it was the best.
That's on me. That's on me. I confused the Marvels with Miss Marvel with the Marvelous Miss Maisel. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, I honestly think that before you watch The Marvels in theaters, you should watch all seasons of The Marvelous
as a
Miss
gift to
Maisel.
yourself and humanity. I think you should.
And then I'll understand the Marvels.
Yeah, it'll help you. It'll
it'll help you
right.
be more forgiving that
Yeah,
not everyone can
perfect.
be perfect.
Yeah, because Brie Larson is going to team up with Lois Lane.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, Ahsoka. I guess we can start off by, this has been a long time coming. I think they announced this in 2021, maybe, or so.
I don't know.
Go ahead and take a look at that. Now that we have our resident fact checker this season.
Ooh, Oracle over here.
Hopefully you're not disabled. Not that there's anything
Not
wrong with
that.
it. I would just prefer if you had the ability to walk, but
yeah.
I'm sure you would live a full, meaningful life if
Yeah.
you didn't.
2020.
2020 they
Ooh,
announced the
even
show.
further.
Okay. Oh, time's not linear, so we've been with this character for
Years.
2008?
He's gonna fact check that too. Yeah, sounds about right. You know, one thing about Ahsoka is I don't think we've been exhausted by. She's been on a lot of stuff.
2008. Good pull.
Yeah, ever since she was introduced in the Clone Wars, she's been in a lot of stuff. Rebels, Mando, and now
What
this. Yeah, what if?
Oh, I'm sorry. What's a
Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi?
Tales
There
of
you
the
go.
Jedi.
My
Yeah,
bad.
and we talked
My
a
bad.
little. Yeah, we talked a little bit about her, so we don't have to spend too much time about her significance as a character in Tales of the Jedi. When we looked back, whenever that was last season, also wasn't this year, right? That was also last year. What have we been subscribing to Disney Plus for?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus.
I mean, it's true. I went back the other day and I'm like, what do I watch on this aside from the shows like the Star Wars shows? and
It's
stuff?
literally just a
Oh, Mando.
subscription.
I had to
like,
Mando.
Yeah, Mando.
I had to re-download. I mean,
Like update.
I had to sign. I had to log in. That's how.
Yeah, you're like 3 passwords behind.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because I assume you have your own account.
Of
we
course,
don't.
of
Yeah,
course,
we
we
don't
don't do that. We don't share.
Yeah, we don't. So she's been a significant character in the Star Wars universe, I guess. And I think the strongest connection that this show has is with the animated series Rebels, right? Star Wars Rebels.
Correct.
And we all saw that show, right?
Yeah.
In its entirety. It's one of my favorite, I think, Star Wars
Peak Star Wars.
products, right? A lot of people didn't, you know. It's
They must have been so confused watching the show.
okay. Yeah, let's get to that. Do you think this show is you're able to enjoy it and understand it if you didn't watch Rebels?
No, not at all.
I mean, yes, but not for the right reasons.
Okay, so unpack that.
I think anything that you see on Rebels it's just awesome. Like I don't know how many times I went like when I was watching the episode with you or just texting the chat. I'm just like, this is amazing. Like you just being able to watch spoilers. Are we getting to spoilers?
Yeah. We're going full into spoilers now. If you don't want to listen to this or you don't care about spoilers,
Get out of here.
Like
Wait,
the Henny Sun.
And then come
if
back.
you don't care about spoilers, stay.
Oh.
If you don't want to hear spoilers, I mean, what do you even
Leave.
do? If you care about this show, maybe you just want to hear the conversation, so just stay. But if you care about this show, you must have seen it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's so many moments, like jaw-dropping moments that are just like, wow. And then particularly one in like specifically one comes to mind where, you know, we get the flashback scene that that we've all been waiting for.
Oh, that you got in Obi-Wan.
What should have been in Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And you know, seeing Anakin and Ahsoka in like a flashback to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And I think that was amazing. And I think just anybody, even if you haven't seen Rebels, that's like astonishing. You have to have, I feel like you should know somewhat of who Ahsoka is. Like if you like watch Mandalorian, Book of Boba, like she's
Clone Wars.
She's president. Clone Wars. She's president in that. Which, I mean, if you watch Clone Wars in entirety, like I don't understand why you wouldn't watch Rebels.
It's a sequel.
Like it's
because you don't know at first, and then sometimes you know what happens is you just get like you got left behind a couple of years, and you just never got around to it. I think that happens to a lot
I guess
of people.
that is true. That happens to someone I know.
But you need to know. You need to at least know the characters because the whole purpose of the show is to find Ezra. It is, you know, they're on a mission to find Ezra and figure out what Thrawn is up to.
And to battle Thrawn, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're not the protagonist, but your main antagonist for sure is like comes straight from Rebels, and like I guess Ezra's like the McGuffin, right? For most of the series, right? He's the thing that we're looking, we're searching for.
I think so going back to what I was saying, I think you can appreciate that. I think that's just amazing. I think you'll enjoy that at any point. Like just seeing that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you don't truly appreciate this show or Rebels if you haven't watched Rebels, you know, like there's so many like references and callbacks and like things tied up that it's just it's a direct sequel. Basically, it's a direct sequel to Rebels.
Yeah,
that you.
I think Filoni once said that it's basically the next season of Rebels.
Yeah,
and I think that's fair.
And it's like just being able to see the live action is like this is the type of stuff that like you know that I was always excited about for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as like obviously exploring new storylines and things like that, I think is exciting, but also Rebels really did leave off with like a big question mark.
Yeah.
You know, like one of its main, like it is the main character is lost with the main like antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And you never really know what happens to them. Always thinking that, you know, someday we're going to get that, whether it be like another season of, but I mean, at the time we didn't really.
We still don't know what happened between them.
You mean we're the end of Rebels?
I
figured there would be another animated series,
right? There'd be like a continuation or something. But
I think there were rumors of it. Heavy rumors.
And then we got Resistance, and I wanted to cry.
Yeah. Although we got some Resistance tie-ins in this series,
which I guess is fine.
What we did?
Oh yeah, I might have missed it.
I might have.
The dad? No. The guy who's arguing against Hera in the court
Oh, that's the dad?
That's the dad of one of the.
Oh, Kaz.
Of one of the. Do you know Kaz? Did you watch Resistance?
I watched his first season.
Okay, yeah, that's Kaz's dad.
Interesting. Oh, I thought that guy was evil.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a politician.
Yeah.
Evil.
A bad politician.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll turn later or something. We don't really know him in Resistance.
Just, I think you just see stuff about. I mean, in Resistance, he seemed like a caring and loving father figure. Maybe he was a great dad. Maybe this L taught him to.
If he's such a great dad, then why does his son show suck?
I don't think it's his fault.
I think that Filoni is on a quest to
redeem the sequels.
Redeem everything. The sequels.
Anything bad that's ever come out. He's going to redeem the holiday special.
Oh, like, for example, and I think the peak of this show is, the Anakin episode, right? The World Between Worlds, which is what I think is going to be the glut of our conversation. But I think he even redeemed Lucas replacing Sebastian Stan.
Shaw?
No, I think Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian
Stan is
the
Luke
Skywalker.
So who's the Hellfire Club in the X-Men? That's also Sebastian Shaw, right?
The Hellfire Club in the X-Men?
Yeah. He was played by Kevin Bacon in first class. Shaw, right? Sebastian Shaw. Okay, so Sebastian Shaw. Yeah, he Anakin Skywalker. What am I saying? Hayden Christensen replaced Sebastian Shaw, Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, which was hugely controversial at the time and for decades, I think, after that. But now I'm into it.
No, now we all appreciate it.
Yeah, because now these appearances wouldn't make any sense.
It makes sense. Sucks for that guy, but you know.
Yeah, it does kind of suck for that guy.
But
also, you ever notice that his robes
change colors?
Like he's wearing traditional Jedi robes at the end of Return of the Jedi, but he's in the Anakin robes like in every subsequent Force Ghost appearance.
Which I appreciate because it shows you that
Force Ghosts have wardrobe changes.
Unlike cartoons.
That's true.
Mm.
Well, I know. I was on an overnight trip, for the school, and then I went in to check on on the student room, and then there was a closet that was just the same shirt and hoodie and pair of pants over and over again, and I'm like, what is this?
What?
Yeah, and this student wears the same shirt and hoodie every day, like just multiples of the same ones. He actually took off his hoodie and changed into the exact same hoodie to go to sleep.
Does he listen to this show?
I don't know. So,
I'll refrain from comments.
okay. Just in case it gets back to him.
I've done enough.
You've done enough
for your-
damage
I've
to
done enough
our
for your students.
to our viewers.
and or listeners.
Which I mean, I apologize if you're listening, watching, whatever.
And if you're in the hospital. What were some themes I think that were prevalent throughout the series?
Discord between a Jedi master and a Padawan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so the one of the other characters, we talked a little bit about Anakin, which I'm sure we'll get to, but one of the other characters that Ahsoka is so tied to is Sabine, which making her a Jedi was a little controversial.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about
Was
that?
she always Force sensitive in Rebels? Like, did you guys see any hints of that?
What I was gonna say, Freddie. Kanan says, "You say it. You showed me the."
Oh,
episode.
because I showed you the clip, right? I went back and rewatched the episodes because I couldn't. I at first I was like, no, Filoni can't be wrong. I must go find the evidence to support this idea that she's Force sensitive. And Kanan basically says that everyone can tap into the Force. They just have to be open to listen to it. And that's during that arc where he is training her in mastering the Darksaber.
Mm.
And
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
It feels good because it means I can be Force sensitive.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Maybe your midichlorian count just isn't that high.
Mm.
You can
But
take
maybe that's a good thing.
You can take a pill for that.
You
I
take a
think.
pill for that, right?
Yeah. There's one thing that I still was like, okay, I get where he's coming from, so I was okay with it. But now looking back on it, she ends up with his lightsaber, with Ezra's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
What were we thinking was the significance there? I feel like we forget that detail. It's not just a remembrance. I think the hint is there to see this thought.
I was saying it from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Remember, I was trying to convince you that she used the Force in the woods,
Oh, yeah.
but she
yeah.
didn't.
Well, but you're already under the.
Did I think that was gonna happen at some point? Like she was becoming a Jedi? Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
for
right.
sure. Like she's wielding a lightsaber. She's not like Mando. Like
Right.
I like the whole point of like Ahsoka trying to teach her means that there was something there in the first place.
Right, because we're already given the idea that she was the pupil, the what's the term?
Padawan.
The Padawan. Well, I mean, I don't know if they use those terms exactly, but I know that she was training her in the ways of the
That's what
Force.
Hugh Yang said.
Oh, that's what Hu Yang said? He said Padawan? You're just throwing that out there, hoping that's true?
Padawan and Master. I would probably maybe not Jedi. I don't know.
Okay. Because that's the other thing. Yeah, Master. That's true. Padawan and Master. Because there's that other thing. Is Ahsoka a Jedi? How do you guys feel?
Is she a Jedi?
Yeah, is she a Jedi?
I mean, I feel like she can teach someone to be a Jedi.
I think she didn't want to be a Jedi, but I think in this new, what the Jedi, I guess, have become,
she is that.
I think she is that.
Yeah.
I think she was so like butthurt about what happened
Uh-huh.
to her, which I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the
the
Jedi
system failed her.
The Jedi had its flaws, and I can definitely, obviously agree with why she did what she did. But I think what she stands for, like what the Jedi stand for and what they're like originally for, I think she is. So under those terms, I would consider a Jedi. Like there isn't an order anymore. So like whatever the peacekeepers are, like I think that she fits that role of what a Jedi is what originally a Jedi was supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know? And then, they got political and they just became, war generals, and I don't know.
I think in life we go through that, especially as we get older. We start to see the failures in the systems that we prescribe to at a young age, whether it be religion, politics, corporations. We're so easy to back the winning team, but then we see the systematic injustices or just failures, and many times we don't completely leave. I mean, or maybe we do completely disassociate with whatever entity it is or social group that we find ourselves disappointed in. But still, some of the values and the norms and many of the kind of recontextualizing who we are with our past, because she spent a significant portion of her life, right, as this Jedi. But as we saw in this series, they touched upon, I think, for the first time, the like child soldier,
Yeah.
aspect of what she was put through in the Order.
It's not romanticized as it is in the animated show.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think that is?
Could be because it was a kid show. You get me, with a little bit more mature themes, right? I didn't realize that he was a child soldier until this episode. And I was like, wow.
That's how you were?
Wow. I was like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't realize how serious.
Wow, Link.
I didn't realize how serious this is. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, maybe because it was animated, I thought it was.
It's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games, right? You never really see them die anyways. You
Yeah.
get me? They always hide that. They protect, they not that they censor, but they protect it, right?
Yeah. I think it is a form of censorship.
Yeah.
They sanitize
They
it.
sanitize. There we go.
Right.
But I was impressed. Like, wow, that's so true. Like, this is a failure that she saw in the when she before as she was leaving the Order.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a theme of redemption there, right? Trying to redeem oneself. Anakin, that's a big part of it, right? Finding that balance between.
Yeah. There's redemption for Anakin.
Yeah.
But wasn't there already redemption for him?
Well, because I think we talked about this. Was it last week, Gabe? When we talked about the balance. I don't know how we got there because it wasn't a Star Wars episode, but we kind of talked about
Star Wars and everything, man.
Yeah, Star Wars is everything because they're interconnected worlds, right? Ours and theirs. And
See, so that's why we can be Jedis.
See, yeah. But we talked about that balance, right, between good and evil, and that balance to me means that good, eventually wins out in the end. But Anakin is this figure of extreme good and extreme evil, and it's almost like in this show, Ahsoka, the Anakin story isn't over yet, which is both exciting but also challenging, I think. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, because I think what they set up at the end of the season, and I don't know if we're ready to talk about that, but at the end of the season, they kind of set up more questions than answers. How did you guys
Yeah, for sure.
approach that?
I feel like I didn't get my answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ezra's home, but they're still separated, right?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. That
They
it's so-
inverted
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Also, we have so many answers about the new character, Balin.
You mean we have no answers?
We have no.
We have so many
we have so many
questions.
new questions about
Right,
this,
right,
right?
yeah.
Because his ending was kind of open ended. We don't know what's
I mean,
going on.
I feel like
Plus,
his whole arc was
it's
open-ended.
open-ended,
He
yeah.
really didn't.
do much.
I mean,
If anything, they introduced the character, and
it's not that he didn't do much. It's that we don't know his
No,
motivation for any of the
exactly.
things that he did.
which is why I don't know if his story will be told in another. Because
Yes.
you mentioned it. Will
Yes.
it be?
Tales of the Jedi season 2?
Well, you mentioned it. Will it be in? Oh, I'm pulling Gabriel. You mentioned it.
You've been doing that.
It will be. It would be. Like the next time we might see them might be in Mandalorian season
Mhm.
4,
Yeah.
or the movie, right? But I feel like this is something that should only be seen in Ahsoka,
Yeah.
not these other. Unless you want to introduce him, which would be cool.
Well, because we kind of have this Marvel thing going on now, this interconnected universe, which is exciting because we're being rewarded for watching all these shows. But I'm also worried about how interdependent all the shows may become. Not that they're becoming now, but that they may become. Because right now, for example, you didn't have to see Andor, although you're rewarded because Mon Mothma she appears and she kind of reverts back to a look similar to the pre-rebellion era from Andor. She looks more like the Andor Mon Mothma than she does the Rogue One or Return of the Jedi Mon Mothma. But it's okay. You don't have to, you don't have to watch that. You kind of have to watch Rebels, but you definitely have to watch Mando. Because some of these characters, like Morgan Elsbeth, she's a new character as well. She's new-ish.
Yeah.
You did not even remember, I think, Link, that she was in.
No, I remember.
Oh, you do remember?
Remember, I was disappointed by that fight.
But now you know that she's a Night Sister, so
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
Makes sense,
I
yeah.
feel like he, again, redeemed.
Yeah,
That
they
Ahsoka.
redeemed themselves in that second fight.
Yeah. A Shin
Hati.
Hati.
Is that the
Uh,
blonde girl?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't know what her motivation is. She seems to be guided by this master who's just gives her cryptic, like, instructions. I feel like she doesn't know what her purpose is, even with a master leading her, and she seems kind of lost. And this was kind of like a trilogy, and it was like 6 hours altogether.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a trilogy of films. Those first 2 episodes that dropped felt like a setup, and then I think we have what is like the main course between setting up for the world between worlds and the Anakin stuff. And then we have the last couple episodes that kind of wind down I think it starts with Thrawn's arrival,
Mhm.
and then that whole finally getting to Ezra. But that last part felt like not rushed, but I don't know, lacking
It
substance
felt
of some kind.
incomplete.
Yes. And I didn't appreciate being left hanging.
Because we waited so long.
Yeah.
We've waited since the ending of Rebels,
Mhm.
and we barely got an answer.
Yeah, I think we barely got an answer because it was like, here's this thing. How are we going to find these two? And when we finally get them, they just switch places.
Exactly.
And now the rest of our cast is stranded, and now they're going to roam free. So are we going to like see Ezra and Thrawn on Mando maybe for a season without knowing anything about Ahsoka and Sabine, and then have them come back?
I don't think we'll have another season of Mando before that.
You don't think we'll have another season of Mando before we follow up on this story? Interesting.
I feel like they
think
might do something else and he might appear on that, but
Or even if they do have it, you don't think they'll touch upon this stuff. You think it'll be self-contained?
I don't know. The way that they ended season 3, it's just like
The finality of
How
it.
do you bring them back?
The
in
opposite of
aside
this.
from the movie.
Yeah. I mean, anything could happen.
Yeah,
They could nuke the planet that he's on, and
and it's just back to patrolling. What was your original question?
no idea.
I think
About the
I think you were
balance?
going to address the theory.
Are they like
of,
Dark Jedi?
of figuring out the representations between Anakin and Ahsoka?
Okay, we can unpack that. What were you saying?
No, that's what you were going to.
Are they Dark
I felt
Jedi?
like that was
That is what I was. Who Dark Jedi?
Shin and Balin?
Yeah, I feel like they're not Sith. They're fallen Jedi, right? But I haven't finished Jedi Survivor, so I don't know if they touch upon that.
Oh, gotta beat that.
Could we get?
Where are you in that?
I told you. I give you updates.
Second
so
planet.
Wherever I told you.
Oh, you finished.
No, I'm in the
No,
second
he's
planet.
in the second planet.
You're in the second planet.
I'm like 3/4 of the
Oh
way.
yeah, never mind.
Okay. All
Never
right.
mind.
You think we'll get Cal in real life? Cal Kestis,
I don't
the star
understand.
of the
I
Jedi?
feel
I
like
do
he
not
has
understand
to
how
be.
he is not. They
Yeah.
got like an actual like TV show actor to play this video game character. There is no way they don't get him.
They have to get him, yeah.
Right.
There's no way they don't get him on TV. I am surprised they haven't already.
Does his supporting cast
How much older would he be now if they introduce him in the current timeline?
He'd be like in his 30s, maybe late 30s.
Late 30s, early 40s?
I guess he could look like the bearded version, but not like the babyface version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
which
you
is
could
fine.
you could put 10 years on him.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
like with
pretty
all
sure
the
he's
facial.
like 30 in real life.
Yeah. So you think that's happening? Does his supporting cast, are they all real actors too? Like the Night Sister that he's kind of got a thing with.
That's the one I don't know.
Yeah. The little.
I think she does act, but I don't know.
But you don't know if she looks like. her.
I don't think she does.
She doesn't,
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't look like a Night Sister.
She doesn't look like your character. I don't think.
Okay. What about the alien? Does that little guy, the cook, the guy who drives the ship, is he an actual alien in real life?
I was gonna say that's John Favreau, but it's not.
No, that's the wrong. Are they the same race?
That's the wrong pilot.
Are they the same race? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
They just have multiple limbs.
Yeah, because the other one looks like kind of like a monkey. Anyways, you were hinting at the Mortis stuff. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some heavy speculation, which I think goes right into our conversation on a deeper level. Is what the heck anything at the end even means?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we find Balin in front of the statues.
From Lord of the Rings.
That's what I thought at first. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's like a cool homage
To Lord of the Rings, yeah.
But upon further inspection and investigation, it's a statue of the father. And
yeah,
of
he's a real actor, by the way.
He's a real alien?
Daniel Roebuck.
And he looks like an alien?
Oh, can't wait to see how he looks.
No,
in live
that's just a
action.
voice. That's
So he's not a short guy with 4 arms and
No.
like a big head.
that's a
and
voice.
hairy.
That's like a. They'll have to make that.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Clearly. Anyway, so he's standing in front of those statues, right? The father and the daughter, and what looks like the ruins of the sun, because the sun represents the dark side, and he strangely looks like the head inquisitor from Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. No explanation. Whatever.
I'm not even like I saw a clip of the episode again.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm gonna rewatch the episode
Because I remember at the time I was like, "What is this?" And then I somehow got convinced this is good. But I watched it again. I'm like,
you don't know if it's good.
"What is this, man? This is out there."
I-
Which I
yeah.
give it a pass because it's animated, like it's an
Exactly,
animated
because I
show.
think that's where you can go nuts. Like you can tell some crazy side story and then just like wave it away. And be
But that's
"Well,
that's like the origins of the Force. Like,
yeah. So Mortis, that planet that they're from, is like the world between worlds. It exists out of time and out of space. It's what's known as a Force nexus. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, it's just these deities, the son, the father,
The daughter.
and the daughter, right? They're like a triumvirate, right? A trinity almost, but
Yeah,
they seem
it's
to be
just like-
distinct.
Dumbledore runs that show.
But then what happens at the end of that? Like the son is
Son becomes evil, right? And kills the father.
is that what happens?
I don't remember. That's what I think that's
Oh,
what
man,
happened.
Maybe
I
we should.
thought the son gets defeated and blows up.
Yeah, I thought the
I
son
don't
gets
know.
killed.
Someone dies.
The
Yeah,
son,
I think it's the son. Yeah, and then what happens to the father?
old age takes him.
Okay, possibly because that's what we're gonna get to. The daughter, she also dies, no? And she like becomes the owl, or the owl comes from her.
We should probably watch this again.
Yeah,
before
we
speak
should
on it.
probably watch this again because we're flying by the seat of our pants here. All I know is the theory seems to be that Anakin
Represents.
represents the father and that he might be the father as the chosen one. He's the new father, which is why he's in the world between worlds,
Mm-hmm.
because he is the balance between the light and the dark side, which is because he's Vader and he's Anakin, right? And he seems to like transition through both of them in the episode World Between Worlds. And that Ahsoka, because she's protected by Morai, that owl that is created on Mortis, right? And follows her all throughout.
Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels, especially, it takes a significant role in the finale of Rebels. We see it flying overhead in the final shots. It's in the forest when we meet her and Mando, and it is in the final shots of the Ahsoka series. She is the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we kind of see that connection in their relationship, Anakin and Ahsoka, in these episodes.
So who would be the son?
It seems like no one, because he's defeated
So,
in the Mortis episode,
so
if I'm not mistaken. And his
So the
statue
daughter-
is crumbled.
so the
yeah.
daughter sacrifices herself to save the father from the son, and then Anakin kills the son,
Uh-huh.
and then Anakin, I think by doing that, because the father and the son both die. So Anakin fulfills his role as the chosen one because he restores balance.
He restores balance to
On
the Force.
Mortis.
Again, by having good overcome evil, in my opinion.
because good was, the daughter was destroyed.
Yeah. So the spirit of the daughter continues to live on through Ahsoka. And I guess you could say, well, we're all just guessing here,
Yeah, we
because
don't know
none
what's
of this is spelled
going on,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like Anakin is the son and eventually ascends to be the father.
And that's why I think this story is so unique to Rebels and this, that I don't see it going anywhere else
Mm-hmm.
in the next season of Mandalorian, or even in the movie. To me, the movie should be like an Avengers movie.
I think that's the plan.
Alright?
But so you think we'll resolve some of this stuff before we even team up with Mando? And
You can do it afterwards. I don't see the rush. However, no, because then you got to figure out how we include everyone.
yeah,
So it has to be.
it has to be.
and in a way can set up the movie.
I think Thrawn is the Thanos now for Star Wars in this era. I think he's
in
the
this
big bad.
era before the sequels.
He's
Yeah.
the new big bad.
Yeah, he's the new big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his zombie army, which,
Not a fan.
yeah, do we have feelings about that?
Was not a fan.
Now, it's not the first we're introduced to it. Go
No,
ahead,
yeah.
Lon.
No.
It's not the first. I mean, we slay a lot of undead soldiers in the Fallen Order games, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they're the Jedi games, right? Fallen Order and Survivor. And we saw a little bit of it in Clone Wars, right? Some necromancy.
With the Night Sisters, right?
Yeah. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility, but I think it's always a huge jump when it moves from either a video game or a cartoon or even a comic to the live action.
Yeah. It becomes more serious and
Yeah.
weirder.
Weirder, yeah. You want to say
That makes more sense.
What's
I
up?
forgot about that. I forgot that this daughter like basically brings Ahsoka back to life, which I think obviously enables her connection obviously to the
owl.
Morai. But also I feel like that gives me an explanation to how she's able to travel, how she's able to get into the world between worlds.
Yes.
Multiple
Yes,
times.
absolutely. That's why she's able to. Because, okay, let's talk about that. So let's jump into the world between worlds. What is the world between worlds?
Who is the one that pulls who from the world between worlds?
Ezra
Pulls Ahsoka.
How's
Ahsoka.
Ezra able to be in there?
Ezra finds the key to the world between worlds. The Emperor is after it,
Mm.
and Ezra beats him to it, or they both get to it, basically.
And he pulls Ahsoka before.
And he
Vader.
pulls-
No, they can't open. I think Ezra is the only one that can, and
Yeah.
the Emperor like
Uses
gaslights him as
Yeah.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Ezra hadn't seen the prequels. He didn't know.
He has to know what the Chancellor is.
Yeah, but he doesn't know he's he doesn't know he's the Sith Lord.
Yeah,
Sidious.
He's just Palpatine.
Yeah, he's just Palpatine. So Ezra pulls her through the world between worlds, and at that time we thought it was time travel,
Yeah.
which I guess it is in that instant. But Filoni says that the world between worlds is not a means of time travel. That's just how it manifested.
It's like purgatory.
It is time and maybe it's like heaven. I guess I would compare it to, And if Mortis is like there was war in heaven, it's some kind of celestial realm, some kind of, again, nexus point that exists outside of time and space. So she wasn't really pulled through the present from the past into the present or vice versa. She was just pulled out of her moment in time and then inserted back because there is no time.
She was like
They're both out of time.
that stranger that helps you in a car accident and then disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's happening when that happens.
He was.
He was in the world between worlds.
Yeah.
So, what does all of this mean?
I don't know. They didn't answer it
Who
in the season
could
of
knows?
Ahsoka.
What do
Let me call Dave really quick.
Filoni?
To
You
see
think
if
he'll
he
pick
could-
up? He seems to be really busy lately.
I don't know. He has nothing planned for the next 3 years.
That's what he says. When are we getting this movie, supposedly?
Brother.
Right. Anything they say is like add another 3 years to it.
Right.
Unfortunately, but keep talking.
At least the strike is over, right? We can do stuff.
The
now.
writers' strike is over. The
Oh, well, we
Screen
can-
Actors Guild is
You
there.
can
We
still
don't
start
have
writing.
actors.
You can still start writing though, right?
A new strike might start in regards to video games. So the voice actors may be on strike soon. You can start writing, sure, but then
Does
you can't
that
film anything.
include like Japanese voice actors?
I don't know because
Because you know what? Then I'll just dub my video games, sub my video games.
you just subtitle video.
Yeah.
That would be the new one. Yeah,
I mean, you can do it in Ghost of Tsushima. Kuchina?
It's not Kuchina.
Tuchina?
Ghost of
Shushina?
Nope. No, I don't know.
What is it? You have it. Ghost of what?
Tsushima.
Stop. Ghost of Tsushima.
Is that not what I
That's
said?
not what I said.
No, it's not. That's
it's
not what
definitely
any
not
of
what
said.
you said.
Yeah, not the second one.
I
Tuchina.
feel like I was.
But
close.
yeah, I was playing the game at Gabriel's house with subtitles, and I'm like, this is really hard. I can't play and do subtitles.
You know that I own that game, even though I don't have a PlayStation 5, and also I don't know what that game is like. What kind of game is it?
It's like Assassin's Creed, but with your samurai.
Oh, that sounds sick.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought it. But getting back to the world between worlds, I find this concept fascinating
Bless you.
because the world between worlds, in the world of Star Wars connects all things, connects all timelines. But in the meta of it, it's connected the animated series to the television series and to the films. It's almost this central idea of interconnectedness. And it just gets me thinking about what we can learn from this concept. Like you said, we don't have a lot of answers. It's still very vague, but it's been years. What do you think it is that Filoni is trying to communicate with concepts like this, Mortis, the world between worlds?
I think he's trying to find a way to retcon the sequels. Or not retcon, I'm sorry. Improve the sequels like he did with the prequels.
Yeah. That's actually I want to say...
If you're able to find a logical solution to fix the sequels, man, give me World Between Worlds. More of that.
Yeah. I want to say that there's a conspiracy that he's going to retcon the sequels.
Not retcon, but, or do what he did
At this point, please.
But I think what he's going to do is he's going to recontextualize them
Yeah.
to breathe new life, to try to make sense out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think him and Lucas effectively did that with the prequels through the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that everything in the prequels is good now. Like, there's still things that are kind of silly concepts or just egregiously bad decisions. But as a whole, that whole time period has been kind of saved.
Yeah.
I think the thing that they do throughout Star Wars recently is the especially the kid. I forgot what the actual word is called, but the art of like filling in cracks with gold.
Oh, yeah, like Kylo Ren's helmet.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
I'll look it up while you continue.
I feel like they're literally doing that with
Koi fish.
kintsugi is what it's called.
Yeah, it is what it is called.
Not
correct.
koi fish.
Definitely not koi fish.
But basically, like, you repair the broken pieces of whatever pottery, and have you seen the helmets?
That's
and
actually beautiful.
how they do in like with Thrawn's shoulders.
Yeah,
Actually,
it did,
you see
yeah.
them do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what Filoni does so well in Star Wars. Is there are cracks, there are things that aren't perfect, there are things that are quite broken, but I think that Filoni does a literal great job of filling in those cracks and making something beautiful come out of like the brokenness of whatever we've gotten so far, of the mistakes from the past. But I think being able to use that and turn it into something new,
Mm-hmm.
something exciting, something beautiful, I think is actually it's a really good talent.
It is
I mean,
really,
it's
because
something.
it's difficult. Yeah. It's difficult.
It's something that he's been doing for years, and there's even stuff that's like, and I feel like it's not even Filoni. There's other people, like even in the books, like even for Rise of Skywalker, there's so much more added detail because that movie was the hottest piece of garbage, and I think it's the lowest ranked Star Wars movie in my mind ever. But even stuff like adding some of the Resistance characters into the book, that it's like, okay, fine, I get some validation for watching that show. And there's little things here and there that we can go on and on about, but I think even though, yes, stuff may not be perfect, stuff may not be great, it may not even be good, it might be like subpar, but that doesn't mean that it's like it can always be bad. Mm-hmm. Now, the ginormous, daunting task of trying to make sense of the Rise of Skywalker is upon them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I want to have hope that it's not always going to be the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Link?
I mean, if the guy fixed the prequels, why not just use him to make the sequels? Now you have to use a guy to like try to fix the sequels. To do that, what is it again? What's the beautiful?
Kintsugi?
Now he has a Kintsugi?
Kintsugi. But I don't think you said the T.
Kintsugi, right?
Yeah.
But had you had him create the sequels, he wouldn't have Kintsugi anything.
But I don't think we were there yet. Like,
I think, yeah.
You can't just go through time and like pull someone out and change the course of their life. We weren't in that Mando era. We weren't, and perhaps the decisions of the past, those mistakes.
Is that what happens with Ashoka?
Yeah. But we can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think perhaps the mistakes of the past, those cracks that Gabriel was talking about, I think that's what leads to being able to add these beautiful, you know, I guess
Art?
decorations. Yeah. Flourishes. This artistry is building on those foundations. I don't know where some things that he's building in Mando, like the cloning, is leading to, and I have suspicions because
That's
of
clear Palpatine stuff.
right. How is he going to kintsugi that? I don't know. We'll wait till we see. And maybe he'll succeed and maybe he won't. But I think that metaphor that you shared was beautiful when we apply it to our own lives. Because ultimately, that's what this is about. What can we learn from this world? And being able to live life that way. Being able to look back at the mistakes, the failures, at the cracks in our life, and being able to seal them, to fill in those cracks with something valuable and something that helps hold us together. We'll remain, broken pieces. You can see, the glue, so to speak, that holds it together, but we become stronger than ever. And being able to apply those kind of principles in our lives is something that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, and I think that we're going to continue to explore throughout the season.
Of Ahsoka or the show?
No, the show is over.
Okay.
This show,
No.
right? Here, Searching for McGuffin. So we've hit the 46-minute mark, right? And that's kind of our go-to.
All right, you're free to go, class.
That wasn't me. I didn't say that.
But yeah, any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. What are we gonna do with this guy that died?
Oh,
Who we gonna
Ray
replace?
Stevenson.
Who we gonna replace him with? Because
I don't know.
this is who I want.
But recast it. Who do you want?
They will be recasting.
He will
is what I
be
heard.
recasted.
Yeah.
There's two things. Either you go younger, you get me, so that you can use that character for longer, or you go closer to the actor's age. This is what I was thinking. You can't go wrong with Henry Cavill to play that guy.
To pay,
Too young.
yeah.
I know, but you
Think
can
so.
make him look old. But yeah, the other person that someone mentioned I thought was really good was, what's his name? Wolverine? I mean, not Wolverine. I'm sorry, not
Hugh
Sabretooth.
Liev
Yeah.
Schreiber.
Oh.
I did get Liev Schreiber.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could see
Liev
Liev
Schreiber
Schreiber
Because they're
vibes.
similar size, similar ages.
Yeah, and you
and
put him
he's a
in
great
the
actor.
beard.
You can put him in a beard. He's a great actor.
I did get Liev Schreiber vibes for
That
sure.
might work. Wow. All right. You heard it here first. Liev Schreiber will be portraying Balin Skull. What about these names, huh?
I don't know. I feel like we're getting a little too close to real life
With the skull?
with certain names. Like the Night Sisters. Did you hear their names?
No, what were they?
They were like the witches from Hamlet? No, Macbeth.
Probably Macbeth.
They had like the same last. They had the similar names.
They were
McWitch.
they're the weird sisters
McWitch.
in Macbeth. So if that's what you're referencing, unless it's another play by a famous Shakespearean.
No, they
Awesome.
had very similar names. Hold on.
No, they should give him like Cuban names. The
Juana.
Okay, no, that's not Cuban.
That's not Cuban.
You give him Cuban.
It's just Juan with an A at the end.
Yeah, I think Cuban names would be good for the Night
What would-
Sisters.
like
Cuban- okay, what would you do?
Made up
like
names?
yeah, like you know how Cubans make up names that start with the letter Y, something like, that.
Usarmi.
Usarmi, yeah. Jedi,
Hedy.
Hedy. You get me?
Yeah, like okay.
I just think it'd be like if you're gonna come witches, give them
Okay,
Cuban names.
so
They're Santeros.
that's from
They're
Macbeth,
Santero.
right? Those are the witches from Macbeth.
The weird sisters are the witches from
Weird,
Macbeth.
like
yeah.
they are weird.
Yeah, I think it's where we get the word. Actually, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
The three
What were their
witches.
names?
I don't know if they have individual names, which sounds stupid of me. But
Yummy Bell.
I literally
Get out of here. Those are the names up
What did
there.
you say?
No. Look up,
Yummy
look up.
Bell.
Yummy.
No, maybe.
What's the other one?
Yummy Bell. That's
uh,
tonight, sister.
Ulysses.
You lazy. You're smarty. I'm onto something here.
I'm glad we
Oh
decided
no,
to
I'm no.
tack these 5
Okay,
minutes.
not from Macbeth.
on to the end of the episode.
The three fates.
Oh, the three fates. Okay, from
Greek mythology.
just from general.
They have the same names.
Oh, what are they?
Actropa, Clotha, and Lachesis.
Yeah,
When
it
did they
sounds
name-
super Greek?
Greek. Yeah. When
Yeah.
did they name drop the witches'
I
names?
don't know if they're credited as those names.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but my names are better.
What did you think about the last episode's Lion Witch in the Wardrobe
Yeah.
homage?
Yeah, for real. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
those titles, I feel like we're getting a little too close to real life, and I don't know if I
Right?
like it.
It very derivative,
Derivative.
like
Bela and Skull, like the cheer that the Vikings do. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
What was the thing I told you?
I mean, they're running out, you know.
what the thing I
They
told
gotta
you?
have a generator for that, man. Like
Whoa.
I told you something like, oh, does that mean that this is now and this is, belongs to Star Wars?
Oh, they said that Ahsoka is a Ronin.
Oh yeah, so that means there were samurais. in
Yeah,
Star Wars.
apparently.
yeah,
I didn't like that.
Well, I mean,
It's a cool name, but
Praetorian guards are literally, you know, a thing in real life
okay. But Praetorian guards, they were called this since when?
since
Last Jedi. Before that.
No, it's Last Jedi because
Right?
because they're Imperial guards, the
Imperial
the
guards,
ones
yeah.
with the big red.
Okay, still
But-
then the sequels. Going back to the sequels.
Okay, so this era we're getting too like real.
I gave you a solution.
all right, we're saying all these gripes with.
What was
Ahsoka?
it? You smiley?
We're doing the thing where we end.
All right,
with
we're ending.
complaints.
We're ending with gripes. All
You,
right.
you smiley? Yo rimar?
Usmali?
Guzman.
Guzman?
Okay.
Just give them Cuban names.
All right. So
Do you like that? What's her name as a Jedi?
who's her name?
Sabine?
Sabine.
I think I've made my peace with it, and I don't even think it's something I have to make my peace
Okay.
with.
Do you
I
like
think
that?
I accept that the arc, there was breadcrumbs there, and then we skipped like 10 years of her life. So
Do you like that anybody can be a Jedi?
I do kind of like that anybody can be
I
a
like
Jedi.
that. 'Cause it
Both you
means
like that?
I would be a Jedi.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a harder
Harder,
road,
yeah, for
Yeah.
some people.
which I think that's real life. Like
Yeah.
I believe that you can do almost anything that you want, but sometimes we don't have the fortitude
Yeah.
to make it. Like we're not willing to make the sacrifices
Yeah.
that it would take to bridge those gaps of deficiencies. Like if I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, I could be a neurosurgeon, but I'm not equipped to be a neurosurgeon, and me personally, I'm not ready to make the sacrifices. But I believe that I believe that I could do it, you know, and if I could channel into the Force, it lives in all of us. It's inside all things.
What if Ahsoka was just training her how to use a lightsaber? If she had to learn how to use a dark saber, might as well teach her how to fight in, the ways of the Jedi. And then if you have if she had any, if she was force sensitive, like cherry, that's a cherry on
That's
top.
another term. Force sensitive.
Yeah, Force sensitive. I think that in her heart, she wanted the Jedi Order in some way to live on, which I think.
But a pure one, like what she.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't think she would put that name on it or even admit that, but I think she wants there to be someone dedicated to protecting, the innocent through the use of the Force. I think Luke, as much as he's turned himself off from the Force, still protects those books, and maintains the remnants of the Jedi Order. And on that note,
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
yeah, okay.
I gotta go poop.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our discussion on Ahsoka. If you haven't seen it,
Watch
don't-
it.
yeah, nothing that we said really spoils anything. Actually, if you really think about it,
If getting in too deep into it is gonna be like an hour and a half conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, we will continue to discuss this and many other things in the weeks to come. Till then, we reach out to you through our world to yours.
Bars.